should start over. All right, let's just forge ahead. I am going to switch over to the desk and let's have a little play with a stamp set that I first saw in here and decided I didn't need it. How often does that happen? And then you see somebody else do something with it. I'm just straightening that up. And you go, oh, okay, maybe I should get that after all. Okay, so the name of the stamp set is, surprisingly, Merry Christmas. Does anyone know the one I'm talking about? Here it is, all by itself. It's just these lovely big letters, and it's on page 16 of your catalogue. You don't have any numbers, I know. I don't know. It's just so strange. I don't know what's going on, you guys. I didn't do anything different that I'm aware of, but something's changed. Yeah, she is special in so many ways, Jen. You have no idea. But we love her. But she's very special. All right, so Merry Christmas. Here it is here. You have this stamp. Okay. Do you know, I didn't want this stamp, and then I saw something that Miss Ellen Woodbridge did with this particular stamp, and I saw what she did, and I went, oh, I really like that. I guess I need that after all. So the reason that I didn't get it initially was because somebody actually said this to me, but also I think I was kind of saying it to myself, that there's only one thing you can do with this stamp, and that is stamp it, put it on maybe cut a panel out behind it and stick it on a card, and that's all you can do. I'm going to prove today we're going to use this stamp in a whole bunch of different ways, and we are going to come up with at least 2, if not 3 or 4 cards. Okay, so let's get going. The very first one is a card that I made yesterday or the day before, and I did post it this morning, so some of you may be thinking, oh, we've seen that. Okay, all right, so this is I don't know if you can see here, I've actually stamped it here on this panel. Now this panel is actually one of the textured notes dies. So much more, I know, right? You ordered it later too, Leanne. So there you go. So no, isn't that weird? Ah, see, there you go. And Anne said the same. Ellen used the stamp and made her want to buy it as well. All right, so I've got my textured notes dies here, and the ones that I think works best with this stamp set is the one with the like little lines. Like, can you see the little lines around it there? And that's the one that is a really, really good size for this particular stamp. Okay, so I'm going to start with that, and we're just going to stamp it. I've written myself a little note so I remember all the different ways to stamp it. And we're going to put this on a block. And I'm just going to stamp it in real red. I'm going to stick it, the stamp is going to end up on, it's best on E block because it is a fairly large stamp. So use E block for this one. So sometimes I just show you techniques, and sometimes I show you ways to use particular products and things like this. So we're actually going to cover a whole bunch of different techniques in today's, because I want to show you some different ways that you can use this particular stamp. Okay, so it is Merry Christmas. I'm just going to ink it up in real red ink, and we're just going to stamp it nice and straight on this here. So this is the most basic way to use it. All right, and I'm lining it up. I'm standing up to line it up. I do thoroughly recommend that you stand up when you're trying to line up something in center, something like this, and that way you're more likely to get it in the right place. Okay, so stand up to stamp when you're trying to line something up like so. All right, it's a really, oh, I didn't push it quite hard enough up there in the corner. It's still fine. It won't matter actually on this card, but it is a beautiful font they've used. I really like it. Hands up if you have this card. Ah, see, don't tell everybody my tricks yet, Leanne, because I'm going to do some of those things that you're talking about. All right, so we're going to, oh, my Stampin' Mist is empty. All right, so one of the things is if you've used red ink stains your photopolymer stamps, and there's nothing you can really do about it, but you can minimize it by cleaning the stamp as soon as you use it, okay? That'll come up pretty clean. It's almost stain-free, but if you leave it sitting on your desk and it dries on there, you will probably never get it clean ever again. No, that's okay. Don't be sorry. Well, Kerry, if you don't mind me trying to persuade you today. Oh, that's good, Jody. Jody said her advent calendar came today. I'm pretty sure that has now sold out here in Australia. I did see something about that yesterday, and if I type in the word advent, nothing comes up. So I'm pretty sure it's gone. Yep, no product search results. So yeah, it's out of stock. So you did well getting in before it was gone. So yes, this is the $32 stamp set. Okay, and it's a stamp set of one. I love it when they do that. Yeah, I thought it was sold out too. Yeah, exactly. I know. And I mean, if you got yourself one, lucky you. If you didn't, I hope they do something like this again, maybe next year, because it was a lot of fun. It was a really, really great product that they've never done something like that before. So yeah, I was very excited to see it. All right. So I've now just stamped this straight on here. I don't know if you can see here, but we have a background. And this is what I saw Ellen do. She did hers straight in rows. I've done mine on a diagonal, but I want to show you how I just got some basic beige, just basic beige card here. And I'm going to pop this in basic beige ink, so same color, tone on tone. And we're going to stamp the background. Okay, so instead of using DSP, this is a really nice way to use this stamp to give a different effect. All right, so I'm going to just put it on an angle. Sure, I'll just line this up and I'll put it on an angle like so. And I'm having it so it goes over the edge. Okay, like this. All right, and I'm going to repeat that. Now, we won't be able to completely cover all of this, but we'll do a pretty good job. All right, so I'm going to have then on the same angle, we're just going to have it like this. The middle doesn't matter as much because that's going to be covered up by our label there. But I'll have this here. So don't worry if there's like some gaps in the middle because you're not going to see those. And we're just doing the same angle all the way along. I just love the way this looks. I think it's a really, really nice way to use this stamp. Here we go. And like so. All right, now if there are any bits you've missed around the edges, like there's a little bit of a gap here, you can easily come in here and, you know, pop a bit of the stamp over the edge there to fill in the gap. And it just looks really, really nice, right? Do you mean in the advent calendar, Cherie? Is that what you're saying? All right, so this now is going to end up here in the middle. And you see you've got that beautiful, let's bring it up so you can see it, this beautiful background. And you haven't used any DSP at all, okay? Right, I see what you're saying. Right, now I'm going to put this, I'm just going to use some of these and I'm going to put them around the edges. I'm going to go and put them in the corners, but not too close to the corners because we're going to use a little bit of foliage around the corners. So I'm just sort of in from the corners a little bit like that and take the backs off those and we're going to attach it. Now, because I have this class tomorrow, I hope that I haven't got to get up and get things out of bags that are already packed ready for tomorrow. And then the thing is, if I do that, then I've got to make sure I don't forget that I took them out and make sure I put them back in. All right, so that's what the Merry Christmas is looking for. And it's fine just like that. But I prettied it up with some of these. Now, these are from the Christmas Greenery dies. So let me grab those. Has everyone seen the Christmas Greenery dies? These are really nice. So you have some that cut out the stamps. So like the wreath or the banner here, and there's a bouquet. Then there's also some big leaves, and there's these here are what I've used to cut these gold pieces. So I'm going to be using this one, and then I also used some holly leaves, these two, and I used some berries in the real red. Okay, so that's what I'm using. And I'm just going to cut a couple of pieces there. So we're going to cut the gold and we're going to cut the green. And you can see I did 2 holly leaves in each corner. And because there's 2 leaves, it's easy to cut them at the same time. So 2 leaves, 2 lots of berries, and a few gold leafy bits. I was thinking maybe I should have cut these out in advance, and I just thought to myself when I was getting ready for this video, I thought, oh, I'll just do it while we're live and you guys can talk to each other, which I'm sure you're doing, but I probably should have done it in advance. Sorry, guys. And a second lot of berries. And I liked how this looked just with the berries and the holly leaves, but it really came alive when I added the gold pieces. That's when it made a difference. Who's confused? Have I confused somebody? No, I don't know why they've got the leaf. I think it's meant to make it look a little bit more realistic, but yeah, I don't actually know. But there is not in this set. There's no holly that doesn't have a centerpiece cut out. We've had other sets that have had, full holly leaves without the centerpieces. You can see that piece there stuck in there until I pull it out. All right. So what I did was I put them over the corners. And this is also, putting this on is why I'm not concerned about the fact that I missed that edge, the top edge of the Y, because I can put some holly leaves there and cover them up. All right, so I'm just going to put let's see, which one will I go? A glue dot behind that. And then deciding where that should go, like that. And another one behind it. And then let's put that over that corner. I'm going to cover that little bit of Y that is missing. And you can kind of put these at whatever angle you would like. So if that's not right, you don't like that, I can move that a little bit. And then these little guys, you can either use a glue dot or you could use some Tombow or something to stick the little berries on. I do like the berries. These are cute. We've had a couple of sets that had some nice holly leaves that were like a bit more solid, like what you're talking about, Cherie. And I'm wondering about Jolly Holly. Does that have holly leaves or does it not? It does, but they're like little stamped ones. And there's also the embossing folder that goes with that and cuts out as well. So I liked these, but I think they looked heaps better once I added the gold, this bit of gold here, these bits. And that was kind of an afterthought. I put these on and then went, oh, I like it, but I don't like it, you know, as much as I expected. And then I added the gold. Sometimes you just need something else, right? Hey, Judy, nice to see you there. I know, it's very nice, this stamp. And it's kind of fun to show a few different techniques you can do with it. So let's get this on here. And you could add more more berries if you wanted to. Like I've got 2 up there. Well, maybe I'll add 1 more down the bottom here. There we go, like that. Now it looks okay, like I said, but I really think that these gold pieces are what make the difference. So I'm going to cut a couple of gold leaves because it's really, really nice. And I'm just using plain old gold foil paper for this. Well, I've got a little bit of good news this morning. I won a prize. That doesn't happen very often, I've got to say, but I won a prize at my optometrist. They were giving away, they're doing celebrating their 80 years in business, and so they're giving away 80 prizes over 80 days. And I won 2 days ago, I won the prize, but I only found out last night. Or this morning, actually. And that was nice to wake up to. So I won a set of glasses frames and some chocolates, and what else is in there? Some glasses wipes and a 20% discount on my next purchase and a whole bunch of different things. So I thought that was pretty cool. Supposedly valued at $795. And I thought, well, that's nice. Now I'm just going to show you what I've done here. I have cut out just part. I didn't want to use a whole leaf because I'm only using the very ends, like here. So I've just cut part of it. So this great big long thing here, I've only cut a little bit, so I'm not wasting so much gold foil. Okay, so I would highly recommend, if you don't need a whole, if you just got it popping out from something like this, you don't need to, there we go, put that in there. There. So I have one here. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to get a glue dot on there behind that. Slide that in there and then push it down so the glue dot makes contact. Same again with this one. I know, very nice win. I know. And I've felt very, very fortunate to they do like a little drawing every day where they, pull names out of a hat, and I was lucky. All right, so pop this in behind here so it pops out. Now, doesn't that look so much better with the gold popping out? I like it a lot. Oh, to put the berry dies back. Thank you. Oh, yes, here they are. Thank you very much. I would have forgotten, and then I'd be very sad when I couldn't find them. I'm just going to put that in there. Okay, so that is the first couple. So straight stamping and also stamping as a background. You could do it straight. I decided to do mine on an angle, but I think that's, yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you telling me that because I would have forgotten. All right, so guess what? I now have another card that I'm going to do with my ladies tomorrow. So this will be one of my cards for tomorrow, which I hope they like it. All right, just having a look. All righty, you might not be able to post a link because I think I'm the only person that's allowed to post links in the chat. You can send it to me and I can post it in the chat. Sorry about that. I'm pretty sure nobody else can. That's just a little setting from when I set it up years ago. I didn't allow people because I didn't want people posting, you know, spam links and stuff like that in the posts, you know, and you know how sometimes people like to post rude things and stuff like that. You know, I used to have problems with people, you know, doing, I'll say it, you know, they would post links to sex sites and stuff like that. So I stopped all that. Oh, is it working? It didn't work for me. I didn't see it, Cherie. It didn't come through for us, I don't believe. All right. What die set was that? That's from the Christmas Greenery set. So it's this set here. It's called Christmas Greenery, and it matches this stamp set, this one here. Okay, so this is part of the traditions of Christmas. So, for example, this one here matches with this die, this stamp here. And then you've got this one here that matches the big banner or swag or whatever you want to call that. Some people call it different. People call it those big banners or swags, different things. So, but it's a really nice set. I love the big leaves in it. I used that in a video a few weeks ago as well. No, I didn't. It didn't, Cherie. Yeah. All right. So that's what that is. It's a very nice set. All right. So quickly uncover. I've written down. Okay. So let's do a little bit of a another thing you can do is you can emboss with this and it's beautiful. Okay. Now I have got a couple of different ideas. I mean, you can do a embossed in, say, a metallic. We could do it on white, or we could do it on something else. We could do it on, I could, if I wanted to. If I wanted to stand out, I would use a dark color and do it, emboss in white. And we might do that separately. Maybe a chalkboard one would be really nice. But I'm just looking through and seeing what colors do we think would be nice. Do we want to do it in gold on white? We could do that. That would be nice. And then we could bring in a couple of, let's do that. I'm going to stamp it here on this piece, and I'm going to stamp it with my Versamark ink. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, girls. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. All right, so I'm going to use my Versamark. Something I do, I may have showed you this before, but when I have a Versamark, I usually have a couple of them. I actually write the date that I opened the most recent one. You can see this one's been open for more than 2 years, from July 2023. But that just helps me know which is my most recent one, because I like it to be the most recent one for embossing, because I want to get a really good image. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and we are going to. Right, and before I actually stamp it, I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm going to go over. This embossing buddy comes in our embossing additions kit, and it's a great little tool for making sure you haven't got any static, and it just means you'll have a better result, a better stamp. All right, so I'm going to stand up and get that in the middle. Mind you, if I end up cutting it out, which I might, it's not going to matter too much. All right, now because I want to get a really good image, the other thing you can do to get a better image is to use a matte underneath, okay? And because Versamark is a sticky ink, it will stick to, the paper will stick to the stamp. Right, you can kind of see that. It's still got a little bit of the basic beige on it from before, but that won't matter because we're going to use it with the Versamark and we're going to emboss it. So for this one, I'm bringing in my embossing additions kit. I've used my embossing buddy. I've got my tweezers. I've got my little brush. And I'm actually going to use, will I go gold or will I go silver? That is the question. Also, I have black as well, but I almost never use black. It's probably my least used color. We've also got copper, but I'm thinking maybe gold for this one. If I was going to go silver, I'd bring in some different colors. I've got lots of options now. Our embossing powders come in packs of 3. Maybe I will do silver. I do need to buy some new embossing powders, actually. Gold for Christmas. Yeah, I'm doing silver now. I've changed my mind. But anyway, you're going to see that it gives you the same result. Okay. We pour it all over and be quite liberal. Don't panic. You're not going to waste it because we'll end up putting it back. What we don't use goes back into the tub. And I usually just let it sit there for a second and then tap it off. All right. So can you see now? We've got some extra bits around here that I'm not super happy with. I'm going to actually pour that on again. I'm actually wondering whether my Versamark might need a refresh. That's better. Now, if you do have any little bits that you're not happy with, what you can do there is get the little brush in that comes with the Embossing Editions kit and get rid of those. And I find that quite helpful. I've got a couple of bits over here. So you basically, your brush is to do a little bit of tidying up. Just a little bit more. It's like I'm trying to, can't help myself. I've got to straighten the picture. Well, I've got to get rid of every stray little bit of powder. Does it really matter? Probably not, but it matters to me. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this powder that's left over in the tray, and we're going to pop it back into our silver. Now, something I will tell you, if you've had your powders for a really long time, and this is one reason why I do need to buy new powders, they seem to not work as well. And so I'm going to use the terminology, they go off. I don't know if going off is really the proper terminology, but it's certainly is what seems to happen. So now that I've got my powder stuck to my Versamark image, I'm going to heat it. And I'm going to put that down in there. Now, it will curl the paper a little bit. That's okay. Don't let that worry you. So I like metallics because it's easy to see when they change, and you can see when. So if you get the light on it just right, you can see as it cooks. Embossing is still one of those magic techniques. A lot of people, probably got their introduction to card making and stamping and different techniques by seeing embossing done for the first time. It is like watching magic. It's a lot of fun. Now, I haven't done this in clear, but if you had done it in clear or white, you could then apply color over the top of it, and that's your emboss resist. Okay. And I always love that look as well. But this is silver on white. Can you see it there? Look at it. It is very beautiful. Always reminds me of, like wedding invitations and things. I always think look nice done in embossing. Don't you? You love silver and purple for Christmas cards. Yeah, that sounds lovely. Yes, if they're very old, they stay flat and they don't stick. They don't stick as well. They don't color. They're not as solid. Okay, so this has ever so slightly bent, but not that I'm worried about it. And I could still put that through a cut and emboss machine if I wanted to cut this out. And the one I keep coming back to is this one. This is the right. If I do want to come here and cut this out, then that would fit beautifully inside there if I wanted to. Now, the advantage of having this on a smaller banner like this is then you could put some in a DSP or something like that behind it. You didn't know the powder goes off. Yeah, if ever you it's in your card, Kerry. If ever you feel that your powders aren't embossing as well as you would like, think about how long you've had them. Okay, they don't last forever. Okay, the M is more noticeable for you. Let me see. Am I back? Oh dear. Am I back, guys? I'm so sorry. I'm having all kinds of trouble today. Well, I won't be able to use this video in any, oh, yay. What happened somehow, it logged me out of my own live, and then when I went back in, it didn't add the sound back in. So I'm deciding which colors to put behind here. This is nice. The blue is nice. This is nice. Hard to know. What do you think? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you guys. Well, this is one of those little disaster days where things just aren't quite going right. But hopefully we'll end up with some nice cards, right? So I'm hoping that. Right, so this is Secret Sea. It's kind of like a very dark charcoal navy, but it's different to navy. A few people have said to me when this color first came out, oh, I don't need that. It's just another navy. No, it isn't. It's beautiful. It's this is one of my favorite colors. So the question is, you think the lighter blue, you mean this one? Technology at its finest. I know, right? The blue it's on. So, right, sorry. I've moved it since then, and I don't know which one that was. I'm thinking possibly this one with the, I think that's nice, or the light, Oh, really, Sheila? I hope that hasn't been too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so I'm going to make this fit inside my other piece. So it's 9.5 by 13.8 if you're doing centimeters. And then that is going to fit just inside here. And this is going to go in the center here. So what do we think? Do we like this? I mean, it's pretty simple, very basic. Let's find some Tombow. Oh, I could have used this on the back too, but that's a bit busier. Oh, the one I moved away. I'm sorry, Judy. Oh, you guys, the blue with the white print. Oh dear. All right, I'm not making. We'll just I'm just going to go ahead and make some cards, and if they turn out, fantastic, and if they don't, my apologies. All right, so that one is just your basic embossed. It is very pretty, isn't it? Embossed on white, but we could have done any color. And for the last one, because we've still got some time, I can't believe I've made this many disasters already, and it's only, we're only 40 minutes in. So, wow, that's impressive, really. I'm feeling like I want to pretty this up a little. There we go. Cut that. So I feel like, I do have from one I cut earlier, I could do but that's white on white. Do we like it anyway? I could color it, or I could make these, I could do a silver bird if we did these. And I have got, I've got this left over from earlier too. I've been playing around with, so I could do a birdie with a silver leaf. That might be pretty. What do we think about that idea? Color it. Time for a gin and tonic. Yeah, well, I'm not a gin drinker, really. But yes, maybe there'll be something. Maybe there'll be something coming my way. You feel the DSP is too light. Oh, you know what? We're stuck with it now because I've shown the technique. So we'll call that, I'm going to call that quits, and then we'll come back and do something else with that. All right. Maybe some chalkboard, because I have a piece of black here. Now, chalkboard's one of those things. There's a number of ways of doing it. You do need to emboss with white. I use my embossing buddy over the background, not just to keep away the static, but because it gives you a bit of a chalky look. Can you see that? So it's like a little bit chalky just by adding the embossing buddy. But let's do this. I'm going to use my matte again. And we're going to do it with Versamark and then white, not clear. Need to make sure. No, that one's clear. Clear and white look the same. So always make sure, because they look identical, make sure you read which one is which. So this one is the white. That's the one I want. All right. And I'm going to ink this up with my Versamark. I'm making sure I get a really, really good. You can re-ink your Versamark, but if you over refill it, it can be hard to get the right amount, and then you can end up with a disaster on your hands because it's too juicy. I've had that happen, and it's not pretty. So usually when a Versamark is on its way out, and as you can see, I've had mine for a couple of years, so they last a long time. But usually when they're on their way out, I will just buy a new one. And I'm wondering if it might nearly be time. Right, you should be able to see that, the Merry Christmas. You can just see it on there. And we're going to use our tray again just to keep things neat and nice. I'm going to get my white every time I check it and make sure I've got the right one. And we're going to pour it all over. Okay, pick it up by the corner. Tap off the excess. How nice is this? I love this technique. I love chalkboard. I just think it's so good. And I have a thing for chalkboard. Some of my team members may know quite often when we are welcoming new team members, and we've been doing a bit of that lately with our special, when I usually use a chalkboard welcome sign because I really like that. I just think it looks so pretty. Hello, Nairi. How you doing? I know. I just feel after the first time I didn't know how much to use, and I put too much in, and I ended up it was a disaster. It was way over inked, and I was trying to use it for a class, and it did not work out. So yeah, and there's not a huge. I mean, they last so long that you will hardly ever have to do it anyway. All right, let's get this cooked. So basically chalkboard is white embossing on black, which is very easy to do, but you can actually make it look a little bit chalky, a little bit more chalky by getting a bit of paper towel and running it with a tiny, tiny bit of white ink, run it over your paper to make it look a little bit more chalky. You have to be careful not to add too much, but it does look really good. So let me show you that. And I've got one more technique after this if we have time. So I hope we'll have time. I know the chalkboard is great, isn't it, Nairi? I love it. Right, so that's how that would look. Now, did I think to bring any paper towel? Usually I have some, but I just used all of mine up the other day. I'm just going to see if I have another one. I don't want to have to go to the kitchen to get more, so let me just see if I have. I've got a tissue. That might do. That might do. So I'm going to go in with some white ink. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of white ink on my cloth or whatever you're using, and you're just going to kind of put a little bit down and give it a rub. So we're just testing. I haven't got too much. That's not too bad. I'm going to add a little tiny bit. Now, this is perfectly up to you if you want to do this or not, but I just take a little bit and run it over my and then rub it back with a different clean part of the cloth. So basically we just get a little bit of chalkiness to this. Can you see that? Now this is optional. You do not have to do this. Some people don't like it. They'd rather just be the clean chalkboard look. But I kind of like having a little bit of chalkiness to my black. So it really does look like a chalkboard. Right, I'm reasonably happy with that. There's just a little bit of chalkiness to that. Oh, that's okay, Susan. Nice to have you here. So that's just really simple. Now for this one, I'm thinking, seeing as we've got black, I mean, we could go with another color, but I've got the Modern Christmas. That would look nice on there. What do you think about that? And this has got gold in it too. That's really nice. Or we could do it on some stripes. No, I think not that one. Or I could just use, you know, the backs of these. I've got some Christmas. It's very dark though. I'm thinking maybe this is good because there's a bit more white in it. What do you guys think? I've also we've got the gold with the decorations, and on the back of that we've got white with diagonal lines, which is really pretty. I actually like that. Does anyone have any thoughts about what they would like with this? And it's a bit black, but I really love the fa la 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 la. I just think that's really fun. 52 years ago today. Oh my goodness, what an important occasion that was for you. Just think, all those years ago, and you probably, all right, I am thinking I like that geometric design. I think that's really nice. So let me, I'm going to cut this at 9.5. Actually, do I want to do it just all on one piece? Yeah, I could, or I could do strips, but I'm thinking I'm just going to go very simple. And then this piece here, let's screw those down. Ink refill is $12.25, and then that's $5.50 on the cost of a new pad. For me, after having that disaster where I over inked my pad, I just feel that I would probably buy another one because it's only $5.50. That's just how I feel about it. But I know they, like you said, they make refills for that purpose. So that's what refills are for. So if you can be bothered and you do think that you'll have no trouble re-inking an existing one, then do it. Get the refill. First one's doing your, this one doing your eyes in. Yeah, it does a little bit. It looks kind of like, you know, kitchen tiles or something like that, or a fancy restaurant. Right, and then that would go on a, let me find a piece of just basic white thick. And I feel like we're going to need some gold gems or something on here. That would be nice. So these are a few different ways that you can use this wonderful stamp. I just think it's fabulous. Something I haven't really talked to you guys about today, and I do need to mention it because it's so important right now. For anyone who's wondering, we do have a fantastic joining special at the moment, and I do need to tell you because it's only available for the month of October, and I want everyone to be able to make up their own mind if it's the right thing for them. Okay, so if you're not a demonstrator and you would ever thought about being one, or even if you haven't, this is such a cool deal. So you would buy the demonstrator kit, which is $235 worth of products of your choice. You can put anything you like in there, and it only costs you $60. Okay, I mean, how good is that? There is another option for people who are after a bit more in their starter kit. If they wanted a big item, then you can spend $169 and you'll get $344 worth of products. I mean, that's insane. Such a good deal. So I just think that it's one of those things that doesn't come along very often. I can't even remember them doing a deal as good as this. How about these little flower gems? Let me grab my take your pick tool and we'll put some of these on because they'll match up with the gold quite nicely. So I'm going to have one over here in this corner and then a couple of little guys over on the other side. This one and that one. There we go, like that. And I feel, you could add other things if you wanted to, but for the purpose of today and this exercise, we're just showing different techniques. So this is your chalkboard. Here we have your just straight metallic embossing. We have the background stamping on the back of this one and just the straight Merry Christmas there in the middle. They all look really nice, don't they? And then I did think of one other one that I thought I'll give. I haven't tried it for a long time. So let me see if this is going. We need to pick a good medium color. Thinking what would be a good medium color? Maybe, what color? What color shall I go? Maybe a Shy Shamrock or maybe Misty Moonlight. Let's do some Misty Moonlight, I think. So I'm going to grab my Misty Moonlight. This is a really nice blue that works really well with a lot of our other blues. So it works really well with Night of Navy and Balmy Blue. It's in, it's a true blue. It's not. So how wide did I just make that? I made it 10 centimeters by 14.3. Okay. And so this time what I'm going to do is I'm actually going – now you get slightly different effects depending on – we're going to use white ink and we're going to use Misty Moonlight ink. Or we could use a darker colour behind this. So I could use maybe I'll use Night of Navy. Let's try that. And then we'll try the white. So we're going to do 3D stamping or shadow stamping. Some people call it one. Some people call it the other. And then – so let me just come over here and stamp this. Oh, it's not quite straight, but anyway, it's all right. So I'm doing my background again. Okay, let's see, I'm going to do another S in the corner here just to fill in that spot. And then I'm going to clean my stamp. And let's see if I can make this look good. If it doesn't quite work out the way I want it to, we'll see. This is experimenting as I go because it only occurred to me just before I went live that this might be a nice way to use this stamp as well. So for those of you who've never done 3D stamping, whoops, I didn't clean that properly. Oh, well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and line it up, but not quite. So I'm actually doing, okay, so I should have gone the other way. I should have done the white first. But let's try this. All right, so can you see how this looks 3D? I love this look. Isn't that nice? Do you see what I've done? Just going to clean my stamp again, only because I didn't do a very good job of it before. Oh, I'm really messing up my white ink pad. I'm not going to show it to you because I'm too embarrassed. All right, so I'm going to line it up as best I can and then move it ever so slightly so it doesn't quite line up. All right. So this is what they call 3D stamping, or sometimes they call it shadow stamping, because it does look like you have a slight shadow there. Can you see that? Used to do this when we had the Stamparatus, and I really liked the fact that you had to move your paper a little bit when you were using the Stamparatus, because otherwise it would stamp in exactly the same place every time. It does, doesn't it? It's a really good look. It's a nice way to use this stamp, don't you think? And then one last little bit down the bottom here. Well, I'm trying to, but because it's hard to see, because what I should have done is do the white first probably, but anyway, you get the idea. Isn't this a nice look? And it really does look like it's jumping off the page, almost like it's embossed, almost. Yeah, I just think it's a really nice technique. And so then you could put, you know, another Merry Christmas or something over the top of it, but I wanted to show you how that looks because I think it's really fun. It does take a little bit of experimenting to get it right. But the reason I was having trouble lining it up was because when I inked up with the white, it was hard to see where I was meant to stamp. But it did work out pretty well. All right, so there you go. So which one do you like best? I didn't make a card out of this one, but I may make a card out of it later. Which one do you think? This one needs to go on a card base, and it needs some bling as well. I still like thinking maybe putting the dove on here. Considering we lost sound and who knows what else during the course of this video, it turned out to make some really nice cards. So who thinks that who has this one already, or who doesn't have it and has maybe changed their mind, decided maybe it might be nice to have? Because I think it's a great stamp, and it's not expensive either. And it makes quick cards. If you're wanting to make a whole bunch of really quick Christmas cards, you can do that with this stamp, and I think that makes it really special. Yeah, the 3D stamping is a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite techniques. We have done it. I have done a video with that before. In fact, I think I've done videos with all of these techniques before. Pretty sure I have. I know I've done words as backgrounds before, but I wanted to show you a variety of techniques just with one product, with one stamp. There we go. So I've got that back in there. There you go. So this is the Merry Christmas photopolymer stamp set. Glimmer paper dove. That would look nice. Yes, I could do like the light blue that looks like cloud cover. That might be really nice. The other thing is I usually add, if I'm doing it in white, I usually add a little dot for their eye, because I feel that they look like they have personality if you give them an eye, whereas they look a bit vacant if you don't. You like it, but you're not sure about buying it. Well, it's the sort of thing, here in Australia, it's $32. I'm not sure how much it might be elsewhere, but I imagine that it probably in most markets is cheaper than the $32 that we pay. So if you were, wondering what stamp to get to make some quick Christmas cards, I think this particular stamp would do a great job. Wink on the dove. Yes, you could do wink on the dove. That would look quite nice. Let me see. I've got a couple of Wink Stellas here. One is in better shape than the other. Let me see. Is this one good? Oh, yeah, this one is good. So let's colour him and then see if he looks better coloured. So if you have any questions at all about the joining special, please reach out. Like I said, we're halfway through the special now, so there's only 2 weeks left. It is such a good deal, and I highly recommend this as a great place to be, as far as, a great community. We have, great opportunities to be creative and use those, flex your creative muscles. How does that look? Is that better? I think it is better. Can you see how it's all shiny now? And it's made it look a little bit off-white. It doesn't look as white as the rest now. No, it's not bad at 32. Although, Dimity, I can't remember where you are. I have a feeling it's probably you're in the US, yeah? It's probably cheaper where you are. 18 in the US. There you go, Teresa. That's good to know. Thank you. You're so welcome, Linda. Well, I have to say, yesterday I ordered for my team retreat, which is coming up at the beginning of November. I ordered 34 packs of sparkle gems. You know the ones. Does everyone know the ones I mean? I mean these. And today I noticed they're out of stock. Oops, sorry about that, everyone. Although I'm sure it wasn't just me, but those are lovely. And I did know they were on low inventory. So there you go. Oh, you're in Darwin. There you go. I don't know why I was thinking you're in the US. It's like my team member Lynn. She's up in Darwin as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to switch back over to me for a second. I don't see any extra questions. I will give you a little bit of information, pop it up on the screen. This is my blog, lookwhatimade.com.au. Okay, if you go there, not only do I have a shopping button that you can go shopping with any products that you've seen me use today, but also if you wish to join, there is a join now or join my team link, and you can go in there and read and find out a little bit more about joining if that's something you've been thinking about doing. So, any questions, any last minute questions before I head off? What did I do? I did a Leslie. Oh, I did do a Leslie, but I actually have a good reason, because I'm, sending those out. All right, you guys. Well, have a fantastic afternoon. It is just after 3 o'clock here in Australia, and I'm going to be seeing you again, hopefully on Friday night. I have a big class tomorrow, so I won't be around doing any videos over the next couple of days, but I will see you again on Friday evening. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.